on the planet for the month of March. I'm super excited to introduce Tanya Miller and share her life and what she does with us, with our Planet family. So Tanya, thank you again for willing to be interviewed. Why don't you tell us what your current position is and what you did before that?
I'm the marketing manager at Planet Automotive Group. So I started as the content creator and the vehicle photographer, working with Genesis Golden, Planet Hyundai, and Planet Honda.
You came on board and you just were on fire. You did a great job with our social media. Everybody was so impressed. We were all like, oh my gosh, this is what it should look like. So you were a superstar right from the beginning.
Thank you.
And you've been recently promoted?
I have in November 2024. I came on as a marketing manager, helped get Olga Payne Honda on board in Missouri, and that was a giant feat, but definitely successful. It made me feel really accomplished.
Yeah, you should. You've done a great job. You're building a great team, which is fun to watch. So I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So good job. In case someone doesn't know what a marketing manager does or a marketing content writer, tell us, because that's something that is not as well known in the automotive industry. Like everyone knows a technician does this or a salesman does this, the office does this, but what does a marketing person really do?
Well, the marketing manager in an automotive position is a little different. It definitely has to do with a lot of partnerships with our vendor relations, so third-party dealer listings like Cars.com, Car Gurus, Auto Traders. We have a lot of partnerships that we have to uphold. They promote our used cars, new cars, and it's just exciting to see how they all work interchangeably. We also have to update the website. A big part of being a marketing manager in the automotive industry is doing all of the compliance. So that's huge. A big deal. So basically we always want to make sure that we are advertising the correct price. We want to make sure that the color matches. Instead of just listing a car as a red, you have to make sure it's completely exactly the same as what the OEM wants. So maybe it's a sapphire red pearl instead of just red. So you got to really make sure that everything is just exactly the way they want it. We can't be under advertising price. We have to make sure that we're kind of at an even keel in our region. There are money factors to look at, residual costs for leasing terms, and each dealership, because we have 3 different brands, they all have their own rules and regulations.
I think people just look at it maybe and think, she has such a fun job. I mean, she's just out, shooting shots for Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and this and that. And
there is a creative side.
And there is, but there's a very, very serious business side to your job.
So as you were saying, there are really big consequences.
Fines.
That you would have to pay if we were out of compliance. So I think, for example, Planet Honda, it's like a $200,000 fine. So huge.
It's serious. And so it's a great job, it's a fun job, it's creative, but it's also a very serious business side. And you've done a phenomenal job with that. And it's high detail, which you're watching everything, and it is a lot. So I always like to brag a little bit about that, because I think people just assume it's at something, and it's not. It's that plus a huge responsibility for the company.
It's very meticulous. Both worlds, analytical and creative. So I think my team is doing great. We have a lot of content coming from Nathan in Missouri, and then we had just started to bring on someone new in Golden.
Perfect. Well, I look forward to meeting them. That's going to be great. Now, I know you also are very creative. What would you like to share with the Planet family like you do on your free time?
Well, I went to art school for painting. I studied impressionism, and I really just love the realistic side of painting. So I do a lot of painting in my free time, and I also do graphic design for some breweries and bands. I do poster work, so that's something that's always on my mind. I'm always kind of going out, painting landscapes or creating things for music.
I always try and get a little peek, of like who we're going to interview and be on a panel interview with, and I'm like, wow, she's a great artist.
Oh, thank you.
And I saw some of your, I think, brewery graphics and artwork, and I was like, she's very talented. So I was super excited then to meet you.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun, like working on Olga Payne's, new branding, getting all of our like flip books in order, or promotional items for the service team.
Right. Well, just even with working with the font.
Yeah.
And colors, and I mean, it was starting from the ground up. There was nothing, no name, so it was really fun to come and be part of that process, and having you incorporate all your different designs for everybody to vote on, and the logos and the lines. It looks like it just comes together, but it was a lot of work just on that.
Yeah.
So we appreciate all your hard work.
It's
been busy, but really fun.
Yeah, I love it.
You do a great job at work. What do you do for your hobbies, other than painting? Because I know you paint.
Yes, I have a little farm, a little hobby farm. So I have some goats, some chickens, some rabbits. We have guardian dogs. They're like Colorado guardian dogs. So they protect. Yeah, they're kind of a mix between Great Pyrenees and there's different like herding dogs. So there's
is it border collies or something?
Well, they like have five breeds that they kind of mix together.
Seriously?
They look like giant, white, fluffy, like golden retriever mixed with Pyrenees dogs.
Really?
They're just adorable.
And they bred this to be what do you call it? A guardian
dog. So they protect their goats. They're not inside dogs, even though I wanted to bring them in as much as possible when they were puppies. Yeah. But they learn to stay with the goats. They protect them, and we have mountain lions. I live in Cold Creek Canyon. So mountain lions, bears are up there, so they're a real threat. I've definitely seen them before.
Wow.
And they stick out there. We have Jules and Luna, and they run up and down. They'll race like trucks up and down the roads,
cute.
But they're just so sweet too, even though they're guardian.
What do you use with their goat? Do you use the goat milk for anything?
Yeah, so in the spring, we're about to have a bunch of kids.
Really?
And so little baby goats everywhere.
Oh, I love that.
And then we do milk them for milk, and we make yogurt.
Okay.
And so yeah, we're trying to be like sustainable in that sense. And then we garden, grow all of our own produce.
Which is nice.
Yeah, can in the fall.
Oh, nice. I haven't canned in forever. Oh, wow.
We do like little different recipes than maybe normal. Like we'd even do dandelion jelly, rhubarb jelly, and
I love that.
It's just so great.
Now let me ask you about chickens, because I really do want to have some chickens. Even though Lisa says I'm not supposed to have any, or I can. I actually live where I can have chickens. But how much work you have the chickens? Do you have to have a house?
Yeah, once you have the coop,
I should say.
Yeah. It's pretty easy. We definitely have to get kind of hardy chickens because we live in the mountains. There's different breeds that can handle the cold weather better.
Okay.
But once you have the coop, they're pretty sustainable.
So is there a heater in the coop or not?
No, we have it really insulated. But they are pretty hardy. We have like them kind of go out. They forage in the grass. We have like a little orchard, so they go and like clean up everything, like go get all the little bugs.
Right. And then do they just come back into their coop on their own?
Well, they're kind of like, they're fenced in, but
so the whole thing is fenced in.
Yeah, but when it becomes dark, they just naturally go into their home.
Oh,
they don't really like to be out in the dark.
All right.
So they'll kind of like make their way back in. They don't really lay eggs in the wintertime.
They don't? I didn't know that.
So they usually take a little hiatus.
Really?
And then when it starts getting warmer, there's a trick. If they're little mohawk is bright red, that usually means they're laying. And then in the winter, they'll kind of get pink. And then they're taking a little break.
You have to send us a picture for you so we can see this. I'm sure you have a picture of it, of the different colors?
Well, I'm
Probably.
sure, in their different
I'm sure everybody
stages.
would love to see that because I did not know that.
There's all these weird things that you kind of learn as
Wow.
you go. It's kind of been like a process. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I have to say, a fresh egg.
There's
Oh my
nothing
gosh,
like it.
the yolk is so orangish
Yeah.
and creamy. It's a very different egg.
They say that usually if you buy them in the store, they're about a month old already.
I know. And just so everybody knows, you can look at the date on the side of the carton. Lee went and bought eggs one time, and I was like, "Did you see this? Like, they only have like a day left, which means it's a month and this time." And he didn't realize this. But yeah, I used to get eggs from a friend of mine, and she said that. She said by the time it gets to Whole Foods, even any store, they're a month old.
Yeah, it's just a process
Shocking.
to get them to the store.
I know. So that's why it's kind of fun to have your own.
Yeah, so it's been kind of a nice little hobby.
I love it.
Feeling like a little closer to the source and healthier with our choice of produce. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's been...
And I know you love to travel. Mm-hmm. And you have a fun trip coming up.
Yes. Me and my mom are going to Paris. Well, a couple places in France.
Okay.
But yeah.
It's going to be so much fun.
Going in April, so...
Very quick.
Yeah, I'm excited to kind of mesh my love for art and see some of my favorite painters' paintings. So.
You're going to have a great time with your mom.
I know.
I'm so excited. You're going to see so many wonderful things around Paris. Have you been before?
I haven't.
All right.
So
you're going to do the typical Eiffel Tower?
Of course.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. We're going to Versailles, and then we're going to some very famous places in northern France that are known for like their seafood. I'm going to be taking my sketchbook to draw at the docks and kind of draw the ships in the bay.
Okay.
And then we'll be going to Monet's water lily garden, which I'm super excited about.
That. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so there's just a couple of places. I mean, we have made kind of an itinerary that's not quite the typical like tourist.
It sounds like it, yeah.
So it's a little off the beaten path. And then my mom wants to go to some fairy tale towns, Colmar and Nancy, closer to Switzerland.
Oh, you're going to have such a great time.
Yeah.
Well, bring us pictures and we'll post them and show them.
Okay.
Sounds great.
So great.
So it's so fun to see all the Instagram posts and all the things you shoot and Nathan in Missouri. Just give us an idea, because it looks so natural, like, you're just, and it's done. How long does it actually take, and how many shots does it take for the average person? Because I just look at you, and I'm like, oh, she's so beautiful, her voice is perfect, and she never messes up. No. So give us the regular people an eye of how long it takes to actually create something so fabulous.
Yeah, well, typically, I would have to say that like things are done with quite a few shots. It's not as easy breezy as you might think. So I'll be, for example, like taking a car out to Red Rocks, and I'll be talking about the vehicle, or like maybe driving it past the tripod. Lots of different frames, and I might only use 10 out of the 50.
Okay.
So. Yeah, it's just really a lot to do with the editing behind the scenes. And
tell us a little bit about the editing process, because I think everybody assumes, again, it's just easy. You just, it's all done.
Well, there's definitely a different way of editing now. I think for social media, it's quick, it's choppy, it's kind of trying to grab your attention, putting a good hook in the beginning. Finding the trending sounds. So
how interesting.
A lot of times there's more variables that has to go into it than just, creating a seamless, high production video. The more authentic our content can be, the more engaging it is with our customers. I think people see Planet Automotive as authentic, humanized, instead of a flashy car pitch, like, here, put $2,000 down on this vehicle. So I think in that sense, we get a lot more engagement. People are looking at us like we, are honest, truthful. We kind of point out how we do business differently. Being non-negotiation, we really do, put our best price forward. And I think being able to translate some of those great branding promises really makes us stand out.
Well, you do a great job, so thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So Tanya, if someone's watching this and they say, I really want to go and work in that department, what advice would you give them, or what skills do they need?
Right. Well, I am always looking for, because I just hired someone, someone that has photography experience, editing experience, because that's the other back inside. And then if I was hiring for the digital merchandising coordinator, which is the more analytical side of this you know, department, the compliance side, I'm looking for someone detail oriented. It's a lot of meticulous number counting, checking. So really just attention to detail, and always kind of looking to be a little flexible, good with managing their time. A lot of times you might get a compliance check, so we might have to update something within a certain amount of time, so that it goes up on the priority list. So being able to kind of make sure that you can work with different deadlines, timelines, being a little multifaceted, I suppose. So yeah, there's, I mean, both sides of this department.
Well, that's great feedback. And when you say, you know, photography experience, you're not talking about like me just going out and shooting. You're talking about a trained education.
Right,
because that has done this as a profession.
Right, and they also, you know, I always ask them, are you okay with being in front of the camera? Because yes, we can get our salespeople in front of the camera. They are the experts on the vehicle, but a lot of times it's just nice to be comfortable and being able to speak about the vehicle in a...
Definitely a creative way, wouldn't you say? More creative than like a salesperson's like, okay, well this button does this and da-da-da, but you come in and Nathan come in and it's creative. As well as showing a wonderful vehicle. You know, so you kind of, you take something that I think is, I don't know the right word, but just standard, you know, the car does this, the car does that, and then you guys make it fun. So
we definitely do.
I love it. I love it. Well, that's great advice for anyone that's looking to get into the marketing department. So, well, Tanya, thank you so much for willing to be interviewed.
Of course.
We appreciate everything you do. I know you've been working a lot of hours trying to get Missouri going and keep Colorado going, and it's a lot of hours, but we appreciate you.
No, I appreciate being here. I'm super grateful.
Well, thank you so much.
Of course.